Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Gold. This is turn 76. We are playing Cyanwood City, and let's jump into the turn. So, we got some pretty big news, but we're going to go through everything first, and then we'll discuss the big news, okay? So we've got Blood Magic 5 researched, Blood Magic 6 researched, claimed the Throne of Fire. Intimina was attacked by a Mind Hunt, but resisted. We didn't get anything with Arcane Probing, didn't get anything with Gnome Lore, didn't get anything with Trade Wind. Or, well, we put up Trade Wind, we cast Fairy Court, we didn't get anything with Voice of Apsu. We Gatewayed with Kia, cast Dark Knowledge. There was a Dire Porpent, Porpent, like a porpoise. There's a Dire Portent, and this is Violet City putting up Gale Gate, overriding Pewter City's Gale Gate. We cast Haruspex. We've got some more Blood Slaves. We were attacked by an Onyx Champion, so let's go ahead and view this because this might become relevant. What we've got here is we've got an Onyx Champion, Pyrite the Onyx Champion, 124 hit points, 30 protection, meh defense, meh attack, incredibly high strength. He is very similar to a Steelix champion, but has the correct slots and doesn't have trample. So, in my opinion, doesn't have the correct slots, but doesn't have trample. Okay, yeah. He's outfitted with a Horror Helm, granting him an additional 5 fear, because he already has 5 fear. He gets Lava Blood Potion for Onyxes. This is a restricted item, a unique item, right? So it gives Morale 2, Attack 2, Magic Resistance 2, HP plus 4, and the big point is a Fire Shield. Well, I think the Magic Resistance and the Fire Shield are the big points. But it is a cursed item, can't be removed. A Flask of Holy Water and an Amulet of Anti-Magic. Total Magic Resistance at 20, so pretty high. And kitted out with the Pewter City Bliss. Alright, so this is a pretty dangerous creature. He's going to summon Earth Power. Iron Will. His magic resistance now up to 30. Iron Skin. Protection up to 34 now. Temper Flesh, so now he also has blunt resistance. Strength of Giants, so now he has 32 strength. And he's just going to go in and kill. And since he doesn't have trample, he doesn't face the same issues as our Steelix tramplers do. So, pretty interesting. I feel like the music's a little loud in a momento. At least it's loud for me. That's better. Okay, so we've got that Onyx Champion. We attacked. We did a little raiding party and ran into some of his forces and got squashed. Easy peasy. Ekrutique attacked Pewter. Killed a decent amount of province defense. We had Scraw Point taken back away from us by a Golem Champion. We'll watch this because it may become relevant. This Mushdama, the Golem Champion, has a Flask of Holy Water, Ring of Regeneration, and Amulet of Anti-Magic. Cool. Fun stuff. Pretty high protection, decent hit points. Not crazy magic resistance. Very reminiscent of our Machampions, actually. In its entirety. But does have a little bit of air magic, so that's kind of cool. Summoner's Power, Air Shield, Flying Shield. And that's it. Takes a little bit of chip damage, but has a Ring of Regeneration, so it's all good. We were raided in Obsidian Waste by some grunts. We found a magic site, a Thunder Oak or whatever it is, 1 air gem. Found 5 nature gems. Got some battle afflictions cured some units from diseases, etc., etc. Very good, very good. Shield Abra is promoted. 82 units promoted. What it is. Okay, so This is the board state. This is the state of the world. But the state of the world has very little bearing now because this turn 76. A decision has been reached among the players, and a final turn has been decided. So let's talk about what's happening, right? Pewter City and I are two major superpowers in the world. We are far and away the highest, if we take a look at things. Pewter is far and away higher than me, but I'm far and away higher than most of the other players in the game as far as like province score goes and income and everything else, right? Income-wise, I'm higher than even Pewter because I've been abusing Ampharos's gym income. Pewter is crazy high, far and away. We've both kind of scaled off into the distance. I guess, you know, Atlantis is still pretty high up there in research. Dominion-wise, army size, etc., no one but the ghosts are close. Okay, so it's kind of made the game very stale for the other players involved, for Celadon, Atlantis, Violet City, and Vermilion City, being the others, right? And because of Ekrutik being this massive AI ghost nation, and Celadon and Pewter kind of having raised its ire or earned its ire, there's basically just a lot of fighting that's going on over here, which is probably one of the only reasons why the game's not even over yet, is because Pewter is having to deal with that a whole bunch. So basically there was some talk back and forth, and a decision has been reached. Since this is a mod game anyways, and the whole purpose of testing this or is to be testing this, so what we're going to do is we've established a final turn, and we've established kind of like a climactic finish, right? And that is that everyone in the game has basically agreed that it's just Pewter and I, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have some big final battles to kind of like hash things out. And I'm gonna do everything that I can, but I'm not really expecting to win this. I'm kind of expecting Pewter to win, which is perfectly fine. But I think it's gonna be fun just to have a big climactic finish, right? So what's gonna happen is on turn 81, we are going to have two battles, okay? And some of the details of this are still a little being discussed, right? But I had to get my turn in, so I'm having to go through this already. And this is going to be kind of crunchy. I think it's going to be a little crunchy for both Pewter and I, because neither of us, I think, were really anticipating this, or at least anticipating the turn. So, but I think that's part of the fun, part of the challenge, right? Is figuring out how to handle this. So, turn 81, we're going to have two battles. We're going to have a battle in the Verdant Steppe 14 with a very small force on either side. And we'll get to the details in that here in just a second, because it's the more nitpicky one, the more nitty-gritty one, the one that we're going to have to figure the fuck out, right? And we're going to have a battle in 28 as well. The battle in 28 is going to be whatever the fuck we can get to 28. Literally throw everything into 28. That's what we're going to do in 28, is big ass battle, bring all you can, right? So that's going to be crazy. It's also going to be a little different because in 14 we're going to have a Pokemon battle. We're going to have a 6v6 Pokemon battle. And there have been a couple of stipulations for what that means, okay? So it means that only Pokemon are usable. Like, we can't bring Chuck, okay? Chuck is a trainer. He's not a Pokemon. Can't bring him, okay? We can bring champions, like a Machampion, or a... those are the only ones we have right now, but don't worry. We're working on getting some others so we can fill the fucking fight out. Steelix champions, right? Those count. or things like legendaries count, shinies count, or just basic Pokemon count. In theory, I could bring a Steelix and 6 Pokemon and just go from there. Now, some of the stipulations involved, right? They do have to be unique. They can't be the same, right? I cannot bring 2 of the same Pokemon to the fight. Okay? So I can't just bring 6 Steelixes. I think that would be a bad idea anyways, but I can't do it. Okay? So this is gonna be a little challenging because this is turn 76, right? We only have so many turns to even get to 14, right? Just from Viridian City, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Because there's no pass between these. Now that doesn't matter for some, right? Some people are gonna fly, some people have very high map move, etc., right? But for others, this might be very challenging to actually make it to the verdant step in time. Okay? So fingers fucking crossed there. All right? So we have to, and here's another stipulation in the fight, right? And this one is kind of a little loosey-goosey because of the circumstances, but to make it a little interesting, it was put forth that we don't use any duplicate items on those 6 Pokemon, right? So we can bring 6 Pokemon, or bring 6 fighters, champions, Pokemon, whatever, right? And if we have items on them, no duplicate items. Now, this is, Pewter City has already said straight up, hey, this is going to be a little difficult for me because he's got a bunch of copper arms built, right? And you can't take a copper arm off of a unit. So that's an issue. But we basically postured that as long as what the copper arm was wielding was different, right? Was not replicated throughout his team, then it would be fine. Okay. I do not expect to win either of these fights, but everything about the game has now turned into figuring out what can make it to 28 and 14 by turn 81 and attempting to do that. We even have extra gold because now it doesn't matter, right? All of that doesn't matter. All that matters is getting to 14 and 28. Now, there is a little side contest that is still kind of up in the air, and that is because these are 2 battles, right? This is, in theory, one of us could win one battle, and one of us could lose the other battle, right? So that it's a draw. It has been proffered that if there is a draw between these 2 battles, whoever has the most thrones then wins. Okay? But that is currently up in the air. I'm perfectly fine with it. I like tiebreakers. I think where we're currently at, we have given the option for Pewter to decide, basically. But I believe, last I checked, a decision hadn't been reached yet. So that is still kind of up in the air. So that being said, we are going to make motions towards trying to make sure that that is a victory for us by using the forces that we know can't make it to 14 or 28, right? So we have forces that we know can make it to 14 and 28, and we have forces like up here, there's no way the Olivine City forces make it to 14 or 8. Right? I mean, in theory, the Steelix champion could, because we could put, quickness boots on them, and boom, they're over there really, really fast. But we already have a Steelix in the area, Haddad, who is a base level 6. So no need to worry about getting a Steelix into the Verdant Steppes. And we have other Steelixes that are probably going to be nearby in time. And we're actually going to bring Ininu in as well anyways. So we're going to have plenty in 28, and we've got one for 14. So we're going to target Trentspore with this army up here, okay? So let's actually, this is kind of weird, right? Because this throws everything on its head for what we're doing. And this was kind of late. The decision for this was reached kind of late in the turn. So I had to scramble. I already had a lot of what I was already planning on doing ready. So I had to scramble and change a whole bunch of things. There's probably a whole shit ton that I missed this turn. And that's okay, right? We're just going to have to figure it out and see how it goes. All right. So let's take this by... We'll take this by fronts just insofar as discussing kind of like where things are moving and what the plan is. So Chuck is casting Cloud Trapeze. This was already going to happen. I was already bringing Chuck down to Viridian City. So that is where he's going. He's going to be leading our main force heading into 28. Okay. The rest of the forces here, I even still have like my site searching, which is just a waste of gems at this point. The rest of the forces here are going to, in one turn, next turn, right, on 76, they're going to go 78, 79, 80, and then on 81, they're going to claim it. So that on 82, you know what, that might even be, I might have waited too long there. I don't know if it counts for, like, having things on 81 or having things on 82. So this might be a moot point anyways. Right? But we'll see, right? If that is an option that we're interested in, we might go that route. I might just put a freaking Steelix into it if I need to. But we'll see. So that's something that's going on here. Nothing's really happening in Dragonscale. Nothing's really happening in Storm Woods. Ininu is heading down to Three Pine Grove as far as he can move because he is going to join the battle in 28. Okay? Over in Saffron City, Yazar is just kind of moving back, but that's a residual thing. Inu, this new Steelix champion, is heading as far over as he can because he's going to try to join into the proceedings in 28. We are moving... All of these arrows that are moving over towards Viridian City are little groups, like fucking Aoila is just taking all the Amphiroses. I don't think I'm going to actually make it there in time, but we'll see, right? Burge is heading over to Kunal, all this stuff, etc., etc. I'm going to skip the Viridian City fronts and the Cyanwood City fronts for right now because that's where all of the main action is. In Pewter's territory, what we are doing is we are moving different units around to target his thrones. And the point here is that if it is decided we are going to use the thrones as a tiebreaker, I'm going to try to take thrones out of his hands at the appropriate time. So we're going to try to hit in Dreher Caverns. We're going to try to keep Urfel down here out of his hands. We're going to try to hit in Lilidor because I think a lot of his units are going to be close enough, right, to move up towards 28. So they're going to head that direction. Okay? So we're going to see how that goes. That is the general plan there. So let's talk about what's actually happening in Viridian City and in Cyanwood City. Okay. This is actually a big thing. Okay. So we have some pretty big forces. We have 1,277 supplies used in Viridian City, actually. We have a lot of forces here. We have a bunch of Amphiroses. We have a lot of Niddos. We have a lot of Chaff that we have just brought in here. We have a fair amount of these White Belts. We've got a goodly amount of these Polyraths and our Prodigy Black Belts, etc., etc., right? So we've got a pretty decent amount of units here that are going to be able to kind of head over to Mag. We're going to have to start moving next turn, so it's going to be 76, or no, next turn is 77, so it'll be 78, 79, 80, 81. So next turn, we will have to start the move. This is going to be a massive force. We're going to take a buttload of diseases and attrition and other things. We're going to pool all of our supply items, but I do not think it's not going to be nearly enough for the force that we're going to be bringing. Okay, and we're probably going to bring a fair chunk of mages. One of the things that is interesting, and this is going to have to, it's going to be dicey, but we're teleporting Kia back to Cyanwood City, okay? So Kia has the ability to move 200 units. We're going to send her back to Cyanwood City, and it'll be turn 77 when she gets there. She's going to take the 200 most valuable units that we have, right? And she is going to teleport to Sirmiak, okay? Or maybe to Dampdale, or not, yeah. Or not teleport, but gateway, okay? So she's going to gateway into Sirmiak. She can't to Dampdale. And so that's 77 is this turn. She'll do the gateway on 78, 79, 80, 81. So if we do this right, we will just be able to reinforce with another 200 units from Cyanwood City. Okay? So we're probably going to bring all of the black belts that we can. The Polyraths are probably a decent bring. Maybe all of these Raichus, I don't know. Probably every fucking Eevee that we can get. Again, not sure. Got a bunch of stuff down here, but it's mostly crap except for the Charizards. So we're gonna try that, okay? There's a lot that we are not going to be able to bring to bear because of the time crunch. So a lot of what we are doing is trying to figure out how to handle that time crunch, and it's very, very interesting stuff. Okay, so teleporting and gatewaying is part of what we're doing there. Okay. Let's talk about the what we're going to be able to bring and what we're not going to be able to bring to the different fights. Okay. So looking at what we just have available in Viridian City, there is a very big glaring situation, right? And that's that we don't have 6 Pokemon champions here. We have 5. We have a Latios, we have a Regice, we have a Kyogre, we have a Steelix champion, and we have an Articuno. But legitimately, 4 of these 5 we might not have in the coming turns. They could easily be stolen from us. And this is a potential problem. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring enough units to bear, right? To get to 14, actually to get to 10 on turn 80, and then be able to bring those to turn 14, the ones that we think are going to be doing the best, okay? Part of what we're doing is we are recruiting a Hitmonchan champion. I think these are not great, but if it's the only other thing I have to add, it's gonna have to do. And I'm not even sure that it's gonna make it in time, right? So it takes 2 turns to recruit one, and that'll be next turn, and then on 78 we'll have it, right? I don't think they have map move 20. It's possible that they could go from 78 to 79, 80, 81. So if that is the case, we'll do it. If not, it's possible that we have to put a booster on it and cloud trapeze it over to an appropriate location. We'll see. We are also doing an Ampharos champion, and this one is definitely going to have to cloud trapeze. But we already know, right? We already know that you can cloud trapeze from Olivine City down to Viridian City, and I think you could probably do one of these 2 as well, right? So on turn 78, we will have an Ampharos champion. We'll probably kit it out with some gear, and then we will send it to wherever the appropriate location is, okay? We are forging because I had to figure out some weird-ass ways to try to make this to happen. We are forging a flying carpet with our Storm Badge, with Cameron the Photographer, in order to try to send, not Utheldon, but Ilvitus, in order to try to send Ilvitus over in time. Okay, so Ilvitus will come flying in on the magic carpet in order to approach. Or if I think I'm not gonna need Ilvitus, right? Because there's the option that I don't, because these are not sacred, right? These are not sacred. So the only thing that is sacred that I would be bringing to bear is the Steelix, and I can just put a Holy Water on him. The only other one would be the Machampion himself, right? So if that is the case, I might just leave out the Machampion if I can get the others involved, okay? And what would I do with the Flying Machampion? I would target Curtain Wall, potentially. Like, I would say, okay, this is a flying carpet. I can bring other units with me. I might try to take Curtain Wall from Vermilion City in the effort of, again, trying to win that tiebreaker. And Ilvitus can do that because we did luck out and he is a Priest 3. Okay? Alright. So, we've got an assortment of Pokemon that we're trying to bring to bear for the Pokemon fight at Province 14, at the Verdant Steppe, okay? And we have a whole bunch of different units, right, that we are hopefully going to be bringing to bear in the fight at 28. I'm hoping that we're going to be bringing a lot of battlefield magic to the party, right? We're going to be bringing Puriflogos in, okay? So we're going to have a Fire 5. We're going to have a pretty high Nature Caster in our Fairy Queen. We're going to have a pretty high Water and Death Caster in our Coquithiad, right? We have, I think, 2 Lutadors over here. No, we only have 1 Lutador, okay? So we only have 1 Lutador over here. That's fine. We're going to have another Steelix champion, so we're going to have another high Earthcaster. We have Ayla, Queen of Storms, so we have a high Aircaster. We're going to have a lot of battlefield magic with which to do this fight. We're even going to have a little Communion. I don't know that the Communion is going to survive because they have 5 HP, which really sucks, right? But we're going to try our best to kind of buff them up and see how it goes, okay? We may or may not be bringing all of these mages to bear in the fight. I think there is some merit to it, but we do actually have some research that we would like to hit, and I'm not sure we're going to. So this turn is already solid. There's nothing we can do about this turn. It's already been sent in, okay? So next turn, we are going to have Blood 7. Blood 7 gives us Blood Rain, and that is something that I'm potentially considering getting into the mix. I am moving Lamashtu all the way over to Cyanwood City, and then I'm potentially going to put some Boots of Flying on her and send her flying. She can only fly like to here, but she could then fly from here to there and then to there, right? So it's going to be a very kind of like dicey situation of her trying to get there in time, but she could potentially get there in time, okay? So this is guaranteed. This is what's going to happen, right? We might Blood Rain. We could also, if we stay in the path of blood magic, it's possible that we make it to turn 8 in time to cast something like Rush of Strength. And that is +4 to all units on the battlefield, okay? That's a pretty big deal. Not a crazy big deal, but it's a pretty big deal. Alternatively, though, right? Or if we decide to do that, it's almost guaranteed that we cannot use these mages in the battle, because losing these mages will tank my research to the point to where that is just not possible. We won't make it in time. All right. So we have some figuring out to do in the next turn, and it has to be in the next turn. Basically, there's not going to be enough time after the next turn really to reach 28 with enough people. So it's got to be now, right? We've got to figure it out now, right? So this is very big, rushed, crazy kind of situation, and it's really exciting, at least for me. Another big thing that is let's talk about what's happening in Cyanwood City right now. Most of what is happening in Cyanwood City is massive amounts of forging. And that is because most of what is happening in Cyanwood just can't make it to the fight in time. Okay? One odd man out is Thula, right? The Queen of Thunder. She very easily can make it over to Viridian City this turn. And another one that is not beholden to the same restrictions is actually Cameron the Photographer. Because of the high astral, Cameron could very well make his way via teleports to 228. Okay? Now, it might take 2 jumps, but that is definitely something that is possible. And this is an interesting situation. You might see, like, we have tanked a lot of gems this turn, and that is to hit various different breakpoints. And part of the problem with it is because of the stipulation of no same items. And this means, right, we need 6 unique helmets, which we've got 3 right now, and they're not like exactly crazy. Oh, I guess we got 4, right? They're not crazy great helmets. We got 5 technically, but I don't know why we would want the Crown of Command. That's not going to do anything for us. Okay. So we've got 4 unique helmets. We need more unique helmets to put on people, but we got to put them on people quickly, right? We only got a turn or 2 before people got to be gone, right? So we had to alchemize a bunch of things, try to like actually get stuff going, okay? And then all of the champions, all of the legendaries, the shinies, right? They all have 3 miscellaneous slots, except for the Steelixes, right? But if we don't have duplicates, if we look at this, right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we've got technically others, right? But they're kind of pointless, right? We got 7, 8, 9. Okay, we've got 10 with this Ring of Regeneration. 11. Nope, that's not one. So we very quickly, right? Very, very quickly run into this issue of, oh shit, we don't have enough missile. And I'm not even going to sort this because again, this turn is already done. It's already sent on. None of this is going to change. We've got issues with getting enough items on all the people, right? So that is a scenario that we're running into. Fortunately, we've been forging a lot of these spare items for a while now. Otherwise, we would be fucked. Like, we would have a lot more gems right now, but we would be fucked as far as kitting all of our units out, right? There would be no way. And we still might have gaps. We very well still might have gaps. So this is a bunch of really crazy stuff. Another thing that I do want to talk about is alternatively, we might not go for Blood 8. We could try, in theory. We could, in theory, try for Thaumaturgy 9. In theory. So, next turn, we absolutely can't have it. Okay? But from 77 to 78, we could have 2,000. From 78 to 79, we could have 2,000. From 79 to 80, we could have 2,000. And from 80 to 81, we could have 1,000. So, we could hit at 81. The problem is and the whole point being is for Master and Slave. How would we even cast Master and Slave? Well, we would have to bring our god, Cameron the Photographer, to bear. We would have to boost him in magic, right? And then we would have to put 2 magic. We would have to. So we would have to boost his astral path to 6, and then we would have to put 2 boosters on him. And then in that time, we would also have to teleport him to 28. Okay? And we'd have to do that with enough gems to even cast a Master and Slave. So that's a bunch of very big ifs. Okay? Now, alternatively, we could potentially, like, bring, Latios is already Astral 4, right? And he has 3 slots, right? We could definitely do something like put a cap on, Starshine Skull cap on him, put a copper arm on him with our sword, put 2 other boosters, a Ring of Wizardry and a Ring of Sorcery on him, and then suddenly Latios is a Astral 8, and don't even have to worry about it. But it doesn't seem like that is. I missed the boat, is what it seems like. I thought about this after the turns were submitted, right? I thought about the scenario of coming in and getting Master and Slave and having this be like a big trap to pull, but I just don't. We're not gonna make it. We're just not gonna make it. I don't think there's any way, even leaving most of my mages behind, I don't think there's any way that we boost our research speed to the point where we hit Master and Slave on turn 80 so that we can script it for turn 81. Which means there's no way it's getting cast. So unfortunately, that one is probably off of the table. But I do think Strength, Rush of Strength is definitely a possibility. I also think doing things like Rush of Strength and then I don't know. We could cast a bunch of stuff with Lamashtu really quickly. Rush of Strength, do a Reinvigoration, then do a Blood Rain, then do another Reinvigoration, right? And we could do a fair chunk of things. We could do a bunch of Hellbind Heart spams, right? We could do some interesting stuff. With blood is the concept, and to the point to where there's the possibility, and this is with the concept of us not going for Master and Slave, right? There is a, where is it? There is this, the Horror Harmonica, right? We could very well cast this. We could very well get this, right? And we could throw it on someone walking into that final battle. And we could Wailing Winds plus Blood Rain and try to morale route his armies. Now, we would have to alchemize. We're gonna have to be alchemizing the shit out of a bunch of gems. Fortunately, we have a pretty steep income with what we've got to play with. So I think we're gonna be able to hit a bunch of the plans that we want to do. But time is of the essence. It's very, very, rough trying to get everything in there. We're also probably going to be able to Cloud Trapeze Rex, by the way. Rex is just sitting here because he's forging a special crown. He's forging the Crown of Overmight. This one. Which, the reason why we're forging this is because we're trying to get fucking... we're trying to get unique headgear on people for our champion battle, right? So, and this I think is also a really cool helm, right? We could potentially charm some of his Pokemon in the 6v6 over to our side. I doubt that that's going to be the case because I expect he, like him, or like me, he's going to have a bunch of magic resist gear on as many people as he can. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this is some crazy stuff. This is some very, very crazy stuff. I am anticipating this particular episode is all over the place, and it is because I had to scramble to try to change all of my plans and get things back. We're forging a copper arm, dancing shield, like anything and everything. I think we're still forging an owl quill and a fucking lightless lantern because, again, I was so like panicked trying to go through and be like, oh god, what are we gonna do, right? Sorry about that. And it just took a while to like wrap my head around what's gonna happen. So we've got a lot of stuff up in the air. We're doing a Pendant of Luck. We're doing another Ropes of Shadow. It's going to be dicey getting everything set up. It's going to be dicey getting everything to the proper locations. It's going to be dicey trying to take locations like Trentspore or the Curtain Wall, right? We might not be able to, honestly. Just might not work out. So, this is very exciting. It's very scary, though. So we're going to try to see... No, OD, quit that. We're going to try to see how everything turns out. I'm hopeful that next turn is going to be way more structured, and I'm going to be able to walk you through a lot more of what is exactly going to happen and what the plan is going to be. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. This is kind of... Oh, sir, bad. This is kind of crazy stuff. So, all right, my cat is going crazy, so I got to go deal with that. And I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.